welcome back to the Corner of Craft podcast, a knitting and sometimes crochet podcast in which we drink tea and I talk about how I have too much yarn and I ramble on a tangent for quite a while. For those who haven't been here before, hello, as I've just said, my name is Hannah. I'm coming at you from a gloriously chilly and sunny Nottingham here in the UK. The light's a bit blue, I'm looking very pale. Should have put a bit more colour on my cheeks, I feel. But it's just, my eyeshadow is really pretty, but you can't see it through my glasses. Just believe me, believe it's there. Oh, these are filthy. Yes. It is a podcast that I upload whenever I remember to film, whenever I have time to film. I would like to, in the new year, get back to doing a fortnightly podcast because that worked really well. I just need to get back in the routine, and also that then would allow me, not even allow me, but like encourage me to knit more, just because I can get very swept up in work and therefore never knit, as you will see by the lack of progress I've made on various projects. So it has, oh, if you'd like to follow me on social media, please feel free. Instagram is where I am most active, but I also tweet on a semi-regular basis whenever I remember to. The lipstick I'm wearing, because someone will ask, is NYX's Soft Matte Lip Cream in the colour Copenhagen, and was going to be my lip colour for my wedding, and then I decided to change my mind. But I still love it, so I'm glad I got it. Speaking of weddings, I got married 2 weeks ago, which is why I haven't been filming a podcast. I've been oversharing too many pictures on Instagram, so feel free to head on over there if you'd like to check them out. After 9 years together, Mario and I have finally got married, and it was an absolutely fantastic day. It went perfectly. I can't think of anything that went wrong. I wasn't stressed at all. I cried a lot during the speeches and maybe had a few too many glasses of wine, but had a great time, so no complaints there. But yeah, it was a really fantastic time, and so many people travelled so far to come, which was so lovely. Becky, who is Soprano Knits, and I have to mention her in every podcast, she flew over from Germany to spend the day and sang during the ceremony. It was absolutely beautiful. Made the mistake of making eye contact with her and almost made her cry while she was singing, but you know what, I then looked away. Also, as soon as I walked through the door, she was sat right there. She was the first person I saw when I stepped through the door, so she almost set me off crying as well. So it was a good time all round. Lots of tears were shed at the end of the night, but we could blame alcohol for that one. The tea I'm drinking is Yorkshire tea biscuit brew. My mug is dirty because this is the third cup of tea I've had today, and I don't wash up my mug between cups of tea. I rinse it out if I change what kind of tea it is. Then it gets washed up at the end of the day. That's the logic. It's probably still gross, but unfortunately that's just what I do. It hasn't killed me yet. I'm always stressed about putting that up there. I need some kind of festive background, I feel, like a little Christmas tree or some lights across here or something a bit more festive. Also, usually I am well into the Christmas jumper wearing by this point, but I had a driving lesson today, so decided to not put a hot Christmas jumper on and just to put something warm but not too warm. So this is my So Faded jumper by Andrea Mowry. I will do a quick stand. Ta-da! It is using Shit Tea and Tray Bake by Countess Ablaze. This is Life on Mars by Fru Valborg, and then at the bottom is Dragon Tears by Full and Vine Yarns. Thought I'd forgotten it then. My hair is a frizzy mess, but I had it bleached and dyed before the wedding, and it's now just a little bit over processed, so I've just been trying to take care of it, but I'm going to get it snipped off next week. So I mean, you'll see, because I am going to be doing a Vlogmas again. You all really seemed to enjoy Vlogmas last year, and I tell you what, I too enjoyed it. It encouraged me to actually do stuff with my day instead of exist. I felt like I was a bit more proactive during December last year, so I decided to again do Vlogmas. I'm tempted to start it on Saturday, as in what I did last year was I started recording on the 1st of December, and then my first upload was on the 2nd of December because I edited it and then posted it. But I think what I'm going to do this year is start recording it on Saturday, and then so you'll get the first upload on the 1st, and so on and so forth. But we shall see. Also, because we're going to go Christmas tree shopping on Saturday, so I thought it might be fun. Mario wants a festive day, so a festive day he shall have. Yes. Regarding knitting, there's not a whole lot. I started a crochet project, but I'm tempted to rip it out and start it for the 4th time. Because I just can't get my head around it. But the 3rd time, rip it out, start it for the 3rd time. So I haven't got that here. But I have a few knitty things. I've got a couple of acquisitions. And yeah. So shall we start with finished things? I've got a box very precariously balanced out of frame. Oh, hello pigeon. So my first finished things are these socks, finally. This episode is going to feel a little bit like it's sponsored by Yarn Badger, but it's not. That's it, that's all I can say. So yes, these are the heel toe do-si do sock pattern by Kay Litton, Kay of the Crazy Sock Lady podcast. Super easy sock pattern to memorize and knit, even if I did do it slightly wrongly. The yarn is Yarn Badger in a rainbow colour, the name I've forgotten, and then the heel is a mini of West Yorkshire Spinners that I had that matched the orange well enough. So I knit this first one, cast it on and knit it in July. I was going to say January, not quite. In July, and then other things took over my needles. So then I picked up and knit the second one, cast it on whilst I was getting my hair dyed for the wedding, which has already faded a lot. It's because we went away to Gran Canaria for a few days. The sun fades hair dye. 'Tis but a curse. Worth it though. But yes, and this is the second one. I knit this whilst we were away on our mini honeymoon, and forgot to bring the first one, so I had to look at pictures as to where I increased and such. They don't match perfectly, but they're near as. They're very close to being perfect, so can't complain too much. I really enjoyed knitting this sock pattern. It was, like I said, really easy to memorize, easy to learn, and went by very quickly. I don't know why it took me so long to knit the second. Well, I had lots of other stuff happening, so why it took me so long to knit the second one. But it just adds a bit of interest to a self-striping sock if you just want a plain, if you've just got a plain self-striping yarn and you want to add a bit of zhuzh to it, check out the heel toe do-si do sock. I would say that it's easy enough for beginners. The things that I changed about it is the heel that I have chosen is my is Becky's Soprano Knits New Depths heel, which is my favourite heel. That's what I was trying to say before. I have a very high instep / arch, depending what you say, and you increase and decrease to accommodate a high instep, and I've memorised how to do the heel basically. So yes, I love them. They are fun. Right, next. Do I hang them back up? I could hang them behind me, really, couldn't I? I'm a bit nervous about this shelving unit. Not helped by the cup of tea I've got precariously balanced. It's fine, I'll just leave that there. And that is actually the only finished thing that I have. But while I'm talking about socks, I may as well keep talking about socks. Actually, the other finished thing that I have is I completely finished a pair of socks. What's it called? Dark Side of the Moon socks that I knit for my sister. I finished them and gifted them to her. I'll pop a picture on the screen. I forgot that I'd finished those since I last recorded a podcast. This is why I should go back to doing podcast notes and not just going balls to the wall with sporadicness. So now we're on to half objects or hose, living in my teacup sea bag. This is a bag by Emerald Fibres, who is sadly no longer selling her bags, which is a shame because I would love one with a D20 on it. Maybe I will talk to her and see if she'll do something special. And I popped my Druid pin on, which was from Alter Knit Universe in just outside Bristol. So these were meant to be my wedding socks for the evening when I put sparkly Doc Martens on, but I didn't finish them in time, so I just wore my unicorn socks and thought, that's also quite nice. Also, no one saw them, so it ultimately doesn't matter, but it made a difference to me. Yes. I have one that is finished. I also knit this on the honeymoon. We literally went away for 4 days and went to a half-board hotel and didn't do an awful lot, and it was exactly what we needed. Pokemon had just come out, so Mario was playing that, and I was knitting on my socks, and it was a really nice time. But I am knitting these from a sock blank. So this is a sock blank that I bought when I went to Sweden last year. I never uploaded the vlog for that. I have all the footage on the old laptop and I never edited it together because I'm a terrible individual. But this yarn is by Litet Nystan. So my Swedish friend Anna and Christopher, they both came to the wedding and I love them so much. They're such lovely people. But she laughs when I try to pronounce Swedish because I sound German. But it says it's 75% superwash wool and 25% nylon. It doesn't say what flavour of wool, just wool. That's fine. But this is the sock blank. It gives odd instructions to go to the middle and pick it out from the middle and to knit both socks, but I just went from one end and it worked fine. But yes, I am this far on my second sock. I've got a Corner of Craft stitch marker, one of my banana ones on it. They're not going to match, and I am alright with it because sock blanks aren't meant to match their sisters, not twins, and it's a bit textured because knitting from a sock blank means you unravel it as you knit. Once it gets washed, the stitches should even out and smooth out, but I'm just knitting the leg. I had this during D&D last, on Tuesday, we had D&D. God, this week's gone quickly. It's ridiculous. I thought I was meant to film this podcast yesterday and it's just didn't happen, and it was just, everything was just a bit intense. But yes, this is just a basic vanilla sock pattern. I'm knitting it on 2.5mm higher sharps. I have cast on 60 stitches and I am just knitting round. I did 15 rows of 2x2 rib because that is what I do. And then the heel that I used is once again the New Depths heel by Becky Sorensen, and I recommend everyone to try that heel because I love it. Also, have you seen Becky's new cardigan pattern? My God, I'm so proud of her. Oh, she's so clever. I know she said she's going to be taking a break from designing and such because this design has given her a bit of a headache, and I completely understand. But so worth it because it's such a gorgeous cardigan. It's definitely on my to knit list. I just need to decide what I'm going to knit it out of. I've got plenty of choice, let's be honest. Delightful, although now it is a fraction too cold. So my only other work in progress, other than that crochet shawl that I earlier mentioned, that I don't know what to do about, is my Garden Gate sweater. I really wanted this done by now because I really want to knit the Winter Lodge sweater by Amy Apple. I've got the yarn for it. This one. But I haven't finished this yet because I'm onto the sleeve. And sleeves, for me, go on forever because I've got gorilla arms. Now, I grew up not thinking I have long arms, but I am above average in height. I'm like 5'7", 5'8"-ish. I don't actually know. I thought I was 5'7", but Mario says he's 5'8", and I'm about the same height as him. So maybe I'm 5'7.5". Split the difference. But that means that in comparison to a lot of designers, my arms must be longer than theirs. So measuring my arms and looking at this sweater pattern's arm measurements, I need to knit an extra 2 inches, which is quite a lot, which is why I like this one, because it's elbow length, and I roll up my sleeves anyway. I was tempted to knit this elbow length as well, but I thought, let's not be lazy if I've put all this work into it. So I cast this on ages ago, and I started knitting, and then I had to put it down when I knit my wedding shawl, which got a lot of use and a lot of compliments, and it was really nice. I'm so glad I knit it. People were telling me I wouldn't wear it, so I forced myself to wear it loads. I didn't wear it for the actual ceremony, but afterwards for photos and such, I put it over my shoulders, and it was nice. It was just nice and fuzzy and fantastic. So this is the Garden Gate sweater by Jennifer Steingass, and I feel like I've knit the body too short. I followed the instructions, but oh gosh, I'm hitting my metal chair. But as previously established, maybe I should have knit it a bit longer because I'm tall, but I can hopefully block it out a little bit. So the yarn that I have used in the silvery grey colour is Chromatic Yarns Moonbeam, and then the dark navy colour is Old Maiden Aunt in the Lawn Dove colour, means blackbird in Celtic, with a hard k, not a soft s, because that's the football team. Things we learnt on the last podcast. So yeah, I knit this, and then I got to about halfway through the colourwork, and had to put it down. I got super fed up with knitting the colourwork. So when Mario went on his stag do, I had a couple of early nights where I took my knitting to bed, because I can never take my knitting to bed and knit in bed before I go to sleep, because Mario is a baker, for those that don't know, and that means bakers get up very early in the morning, and that means that bakers have to go to bed very early in the evening, so I can't go and knit in bed because he's asleep, and I don't want to put the light on and wake him up and blah blah, because he's got to get up for work the next day. So and I feel guilty if I sit and knit in the living room sometimes, because I work in the living room. I should work in the craft room, it's what it's here for. But bead weaving is so much more comfortable sat on a sofa with a slightly higher table, just in my experience. So I sat and forced myself to finish the colourwork, and it wasn't as much of a slog as I thought it would be. And then separated for the sleeves, and I'm going down. I'm yelling timber, you better move, you better dance. Nope. Kesha fans? Any Kesha fans? No? I don't even know if I'm a Kesha fan, let's be honest. Yes, I learned a new technique while knitting it. I did something called helical knitting, or helical knitting. I like to think it's helical knitting, like a helix. I watched Grace's tutorial of Babel's Travelling Yarn. Yes, I think that's what her channel's called. She's Babel's Travelling Yarn, the Babel's Yarns. It's Babel's Yarns is her yarn brand, but she's Babel's Travelling Yarns. But anyway, Grace, you know her. Everyone knows her. She's so delightful and charming and wonderful. Damn it. I'm joking. But her tutorial's super useful. So I did it because I started just to alternate under the sleeve, and I was like, this isn't great. So then switched it up. I was under the sleeve. Switched it up and did helical knitting, and it worked like a charm. So now I'm doing it on my sleeve as well. I'm using my cute little dinosaurs from Yarnistry to keep track. Thought I'd feature somebody else's stitch markers for a change, so you don't just think I only use mine all the time. I don't intentionally only use mine all the time. I just really like my stitch markers, but these are cute too. So I got 3 at the moment, got 3 more to do. Maybe I'll do some this evening. I was meant to do some last night, but you know what? I played The Sims instead. This is why knitting doesn't get done, because instead of knitting, I play The Sims because they bring out a new expansion. And can you make a new family? Or can you make a new Sim to send them to university? Yeah, sure you can. Or you can continue the family that you've been playing for the last 3 generations, because your Sims were children, they are now teenagers, and you need to get them really high in every level so when they go to university they have the best chance at life. My Sims are all overachievers. I think it's to make up for something that I'm missing. I'm joking. But this jumper is living in my Vine Yarns jumper bag. I got turquoise dye on this like the first time I used it, so I'm really good. But love this bag. Did a Christmas present swap a couple of years ago with Kristen, and this is what I got because she's so cute and generous. And holds everything I need perfectly, just in life, but especially the amount of skeins that I needed to knit this jumper. Specifically, I'm getting all tangled up. But that's it. That's honestly it. That's all I'm working on at the moment. I should be knitting Christmas presents. I should be knitting Mario's hat that I have the wool for that he's forgotten about. I should be doing all sorts, but you know what? I haven't bloody done it. So maybe I should get a wriggle on. I just really want to finish that jumper so much. I feel like it'll be quite the weight off my mind when I finish it. So, stash enhancements. I can't show you one of them because it's not December the 1st, but I bought, do I have the card? Yes. Yarn Badgers Wham Cal Survivor Socks, and for those that don't know, Wham, band from the 80s, I'm sure everyone knows who they are, George Michael and friend Andy someone, I believe. Anyway, they brought out a song last Christmas in the 80s. It's one of the classic overplayed Christmas songs that I love so dearly. But a thing that has started is something called Whamageddon, which is how many days in December can you go without hearing the Wham song. So what the Wham Cal Survivor Socks are is a 24 repeat stripe where you knit a stripe every day, and then it comes with a mini skein, and when you hear Last Christmas you knit in the mini skein. I think it's a great idea. I'm very excited to knit them, but I can't show you the yarn because it says not to, so I'm not going to. There is a little gift that she sent with it to say that she said open before December the 1st, so I'm just going to open this really quickly now. Also, I love opening presents. Ooh, I'm good. Ah. Oh my god, so amazing. I'm excited. Oh, cute. So I got a little Christmassy Christmas hat stitch marker that will have to go on my socks. I might switch it to a different kind of cloth, but that's fine, I can. And a Wham Cal badge. Wham Cal badge. Okay. Cute lollipop, which is just aesthetic if nothing else. And then a bag. Open, 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 open. I'm never this person that rips open presents. Oh my god, I just seen it. Oh my god, this is the best thing ever. Oh my god, this is incredible. It's a Wham Cal badge. By badge, I mean bag. Come on. I need to put the badge on the bag. This is why she said to open it before December the 1st. Oh my god, I'm so excited. I love it. So I need to cake up my yarn. I have a question. I'm just gonna sit and pop some bubble wrap. No, I won't, because I use so there's a big thing obviously about going plastic free and such, and I recently switched the bags that I send my yarn out for. I've got a couple left, so if you get a plastic bag I apologise. But the envelopes, the big envelopes I send my yarn out in are compostable, and I've recently switched to a cellophane bag which is also biodegradable, but like I said, I've got a couple of plastic bags left, but I'm trying to like get them out quickly. But I use bubble wrap when I send out my stitch markers because I don't want anything to get demolished, and I'm always worried that people are going to criticise me for it, call me out on it, which they have every right to do, and so they should. But I would just like to say that I have never ever bought a single roll of bubble wrap for, I lied, one. I bought one roll of bubble wrap for my business, and it was a very small roll. Everything else is all leftovers. I have a giant bag of bubble wrap right here that I haven't even touched yet, from my parents' furniture when they got it, and then there's 2 more lots of bubble wrap next to it. I really need to put it in a nice spot that I can keep it somewhere safe, but, or not even safe, but keep it somewhere. And yes, so I keep all old bubble wrap to the point where Mario now has not sternly told my mum, Mario has now told my mum that I do not need any more bubble wrap whenever she asks, do I need more bubble wrap? No, I do not need more bubble wrap. It gets used. It gets used in every single Stitch Market order. So, regarding the Wham cowl, which I can't show you, so I'm trying to keep it off because I'm going to put it in my bag. I don't really know how to go about it. It's a 24 stitch repeat, 24 like stripe repeat. Do I cast on 2 at a time, going toe up, try to match the yarn together in its stripes? Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'm answering my own question. But I've never knit socks 2 at a time, and I've never knit socks toe up, because if I'm meant to knit, I'm just going to restart my camera 1 second. If I'm going to knit 1 stripe a day, and I only do 1 sock, then by Christmas I will have 1 sock to wear. So it makes sense to do them 2 at a time, but I've never done 2 at a time toe up. Is it easy? I've never done toe up. How do you know when to put your heel in? So many questions. Yes, it says, but please don't share any photos online till December the 1st. Inside you'll find your main yarn with 24 stripe repeat and a mini skein. There are no strict rules as such. I want you to enjoy your project, but the guidelines are to start your project on December the 1st, knit 1 stripe per day up to and including Christmas Eve. If you do hear Last Christmas by Wham during December, you can choose to knit a full stripe using the mini, or knit 1 row each time you hear the song. Or don't use the mini at all and only use the whammed card provided to show when you got whammed on Instagram and Facebook if you fancy. Whichever you choose, have fun and have a great festive time. Make plenty of time for your projects. It's really cute. So yes, that's Liz of Yarn Badger. Speaking of, I have another acquisition. So Nottingham Yarn Expo was the day after my wedding, and you know what? I couldn't go, which I'm not bitter about because I was very, very slightly hungover, but nothing that a good sleep on an aeroplane didn't fix. So I like to think I wasn't actually hungover, I was just really tired. We'll go with that. But Liz had, oh, that's on her BFL base, I forgot to say. Liz had posted on Instagram a really gorgeous self-striping sock yarn, and I was like, oh, can you reserve that for me? Can I pay you for it now? And then my mum will go pick it up at Nottingham Yarn Expo, because my mum went to Nottingham Yarn Expo. And so then my mum went along and said, oh, I'm really sorry that Hannah can't come along. You know, she got married yesterday, blah, blah, blah. Here's some wedding pictures because, you know, proud mum. And Liz hadn't realised it was my wedding, so she thought that I was, you know, it was somebody else's wedding, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't matter. So, bless her, she refunded me and said, this is your wedding gift, which is the cutest thing ever. This is called Winter Rainbow. It's on 60% superwash merino, 20% silk and 20% yak. And you know what? These are going to be the most luxurious pair of socks in the world. There's people banging around next door, so I'm really sorry if it comes through on the camera. Yes, it's such a gorgeous dark muted rainbow. It's absolutely stunning. I love it. Maybe I could wind that up as a gumball and then I would know when the stripes repeat. That would make sense. Apparently they're doing lots of banging next door, or someone's leg fell off. But yes, so gorgeous. And now I can buy no more yarn because I don't need any more yarn. That can go on my sock yarn stash pile. There's a lot. What are they doing next door? And then Mum had texted me to say that she picked up the yarn, blah blah blah, and that she'd got me a little extra something, which was very sweet of her. But she bought me this shawl pin. Unfortunately, I don't know where she got it from, and she doesn't know where she got it from. But if anyone knows, please let me know and I will add info. But it's this gorgeous sort of zebra print style shawl pin, and you just kind of, you know, I'm very excited to wear it. Not like this, I'm wearing this wrong, but this is just to demonstrate. Because I don't have a shawl pin, and Mum was just thought they looked really unique. I think it's acrylic or resin or something plasticky. Doesn't feel wooden. This bit, the stick might be wooden, but the rest of it I'm pretty sure it isn't. But it's just really pretty. But I don't know, she said it was somewhere down in the lace market section of the market of the yarn show, but she can't remember what it's called. So then I tried to find out on Instagram, but Instagram's being a pain in the ass, and every time someone likes a picture, it pinged me back to the explore page when I was trying to search for people. So I'm like, great, so now I can't actually look at anyone else's profile. And I just posted a wedding picture, so the likes are going great guns, so thank you very much for that. But I couldn't find out who that pin was by, so please let me know if you know. I am desperate to use up some of my stash, so I need to get a wiggle on really with some knitting. We've got some babies happening in the family, so that means baby jumpers get to happen once more, which is quite exciting. My next project is going to be a 3-colour shawl. I think I've got 2 options of which 3-colour shawl I knit, but I dyed up yarn intended to knit the Studio 54 cowl by Christy of Yarn Cafe Creations, and now my camera's going to freak out because cameras hate purple. Oh, there's hair on this, it's one of mine, don't you worry. I molt a lot and now it's on this one. But yes, so this colour is actually my wedding colour. It was the colour of the bridesmaids' dresses, it was the colour of the ties for the groom and the best men. And somebody, I didn't write your name down, I'm really sorry. My last couple of videos, someone has suggested that this colour be called the DM's wife. So you know what? I'm going to call it the DM's wife because I am my DM's wife. So this is the DM's wife, just a gorgeous reddish purple colour, like a fig purple. It's showing up far more blue purple than it is, but yeah, can't do much about that. Then we've got this colour, which is Sugar Plum Fay, which was one of my Christmas colours, but I actually just love it, so I might just keep it as a normal colour. And then this one, which is technically an undyed Skein of Yarn, so will obviously be slightly cheaper, but I've called this one Zone of Truth because it's bare and naked and you can't hide anything. Zone of Truth. But I thought that these 3 together would make a really nice Studio 54 shawl, and it holds yarn together, so even though you're knitting it in 4-ply, it's actually a DK weight, and it's got a really cool crochet edging. It's a triangular shawl. But yes, so I think this might be my next project. And so I posted on Instagram asking people, would you be interested in kits of these? And some people said yes. So coming up in tomorrow's shop update, which is Saturday the 30th of November at 4 PM GMT, I am going to be having a few different kits in my shop. But yes, this is going to be one of them. So shall we move into shop news then? Shall we? I'll pop that down there to add to the stash. For those that don't know, I own a business called The Corner of Craft. Within that business, I make hand beaded stitch markers like the banana you saw earlier, and I also dye and sell yarn in colours inspired by the game Dungeons and Dragons. Hence that colourway being called the DM's wife, because DM stands for Dungeon Master, and it isn't as kinky and weird as it sounds. It's just basically the person that runs the game. They're like the god of the game, as it were. If you want a more in-depth video into what Dungeons and Dragons is, please feel free to ask me any questions and we can include that in a vlogmas. and get Mario on the camera and we can do some Dungeons and Dragons questions and answers. So I will start with stitch markers. I don't have too many stitch markers going in the shop, unfortunately, mainly due to time and the amount of yarn that I've dyed this week, which isn't a lot by many people's standards, but it's a lot by my standards. So I asked people what they wanted to see. If you want to see a particular stitch marker in a future shop update, please keep an eye on my Instagram. I tend to do a post on my Instagram stories at the beginning of the week asking people what they want to see, and then I try to fulfill that through the week in the lead up to the shop update. So we have this little guy, little snowman, doing his thing, being his fun snowman self. And they are all hand beaded, so all of those individual little squares are beads that are tiny glass beads that I sew together one by one. They all come on clasps that open as so they can be used for knitting and crochet as earrings as well. All of these are Christmas themed, and I'm very sorry if you don't celebrate Christmas, but Christmas takes over my life because I love it so much. I'm really sorry. But tiny gingerbread houses, although I guess that snowman isn't technically Christmassy. Tiny gingerbread house, just really cute as well. We've got Father Christmas himself, and his belt buckle is a, can you see it? Yeah, is a 24 karat gold plated bead for a bit of extra glam. Get his Christmas glam on. Then we've got a red snowflake. I really like this shade of red. My Fitbit's running out of battery and it keeps complaining at me that it's running out of battery. Sorry about it. So then we have some Christmas unicorns. I almost said reindeers. This is definitely not a reindeer. But he's got like gold, sparkly hooves and horn, and then iridescent red mane and tail. We've got the red coffee cup, the Christmassy coffee cup, which isn't branded in any way and doesn't have anything to do with the coffee brand that you are currently thinking about. And then finally we have an adorable pale blue mitten, as was requested, with a little snowflake on it. Super cute. So I've got multiples of each of those going up in the shop. I wouldn't be so nasty as to just put one of each in the shop. I've got a few of each to go in, so don't you worry. Also in the shop right now, we have tote bags. I've never had a tote bag with my own stuff on it before, and I love it and I use it all the time. So we've got the Corner of Craft on one side. It's all made from fair trade organic cotton, just because I believe in workers being treated and paid fairly. It comes with the, you know, fair trade thing and organic thing and blah blah blah, so you know it's all legit, too legit to quit. And then on the back it says sip and stitch, so it's perfect for those who drink coffee, wine, tea, cider, beer, water, insert other liquids here. And then stitch, so works for knitting, crochet, sewing. Is that it? I think that might be it. Still super exciting, I love it. So feel free to show off your Corner of Craft pride with a Corner of Craft tote bag. And if you spend over £50 in my shop and add a tote bag to your cart, you will get the tote bag for half price, which I think is a pretty great deal. And then we have yarn in an IKEA bag going in the shop. So let's start with the exciting sparkle yarn. First up, we've got Pixie on my Sparkle Sock. Sparkle Sock is 75% superwash merino, 20% nylon and 10% stellina. No, Lorex, get it right. Woo! I am sure that was a really attractive facial expression. Oh, Mario is such a lucky man. But yes, it's just this gorgeous mint green colour with speckles of pink and deep green. It's called Pixie. I love it. It's kind of festive, but I don't know if that's just the sparkle that's making me think it's festive. And then also on Sparkle we have Flail Snail. I haven't had Flail Snail in the shop for such a long time for no reason other than I just haven't. Also on Sparkle, Flail Snails are these giant snails with gorgeous blue iridescent shells, and then instead of the little antenna things, it's got like flails on it, and so it can go like and attack you. It's pretty cool. So I tried to, you know, love Flail Snail. It's always a popular colour, and I don't know why I haven't dyed it. I haven't dyed it in literally months, and that's not an exaggeration. So now I've got 2 new colours that I don't think I've actually named as yet. I have a few ideas floating around, but nothing set in stone. So we've got this one, which of course it doesn't show up. It's a beautifully pale baby pink with light charcoal grey, with speckles of slightly brighter pink, some charcoal speckles in there, and then like a deep mauve colour. If we try and do this. Oh, I love it. I love it. So good. And then I've got this variegated, it's not even variegated, well I guess it technically is, purple colour, which is once again reading more blue than it actually is. These will be fun to photograph in a second. And this has speckles of like a greyish blue, and then that dark mauvey colour again. This is quite a good example. And being merino, it's super soft. The Lurex does make it slightly less buttery smooth, but still very soft. Also, I just find that Lurex holds up really well in comparison to Stellina, which I find breaks on me quite a lot. So we are going to have some of those kits going in the shop. I've kept one for myself as well, because that's who I am. Then we also have this kit going in the shop, which could just be a 3-colour shawl, it could be a fade, it could be whatever. These are on my merino sock base, so these are the 85% superwash merino, 15% nylon. So the yarn is suitable for socks, but these are all shawl kits. So you could either do a fade or just a fun 3-colour shawl. I'm tempted to hold one back to knit a shawl as just like a sample. But these are so buttery soft and beautiful. I love them. I love them so much. Like, as a person who predominantly dyes Blueface Leicester, it's such a treat to dye merino for a change, because I love Blueface Leicester so much, which is why I predominantly stock and dye it. But there's just something so satisfying about how soft and smooth this is. Oh, like kittens. Like button kittens, as Kristen would say. But yes, this is Unicorn. I didn't tell you what colour names. I got too distracted by how soft this wool is. This is Unicorn. This is what I knit my, well, what the socks I wore for my wedding I knit out of. So yes, Unicorn. You all know what Unicorn is. This is what a unicorn looks like in D&D. Cream body, grey hooves, and a flowing gold mane. This is Tabaxi, which is a beautiful golden colour with speckles of black and brown and a goldeny, more yellowy speckles. Tabaxi are like cat people, and I don't mean like the film Cats that's coming out kind of cat people. I mean like actual cat people. If you've played Skyrim, you would understand what I mean by actual cat people. I've tried to play Skyrim once, but I got lost and then got frustrated. But I've watched Mario start the game more times than I care to imagine. It's one of his faves. But yes, this is kind of, just to give you an idea, meant to be inspired by leopards, leopard print-esque print. I have played a Tabaxi monk, it was a lot of fun. And then this is a rock gnome. This is just, rock gnome is a type of gnome who lives predominantly in rocky or mountainous or cavernous areas, like caves. That's just this gorgeous variegated brown with the golden and brown and charcoaly speckles. And you know what? I just think they go so well together. These were all dyed at different as in the colours were created all at different times to one another. They just look so good together. Ah, so good. Next up we have the blue fade. For those that have been watching a while, you will know that my second So Faded I ever knit was out of these 3 colours. I knit that over EYF. But so we've got Ice Mage, which I don't think is an actual thing, but someone suggested it as a colourway name and I think it is perfect. It's a gorgeous silvery grey base with blue and turquoisey speckles on. Ice Mage is a magic user who uses frost and cold damage predominantly. Then we have Ice Dragon Wormling, which I love this colour. This was part of my winter collection last year, and I can't stop dyeing it because I love it so much. It's a right ball ache to dye, but you know what? It's worth the aching of the balls. It's got like teal and navy blue and turquoise and purple. Oh, it's just so good. Ice Dragon Wormling is a baby ice dragon. A wormling is what a baby ice dragon is called. And then that would fade into a Merrow, which I have knit many things out of. It's a gorgeous greyish blue with tealy turquoise through it. And Merrow are evil, evil merfolk, kind of like mermaids, but more evil, which is quite impressive because mermaids themselves are quite evil. But they all fade really nicely into one another. So this could be either for a faded shawl or a So Faded sweater or whatever you want it to be. It just looks really nice. You can't deny it. I mean, you could. You'd be lying. But you could. And then finally, she says questioningly, finally, yeah, finally, okay, that might be helpful. I was like, these both look very similar to one another. How have I got these 2 different colours? It's because I picked out 2 skeins of the same colour. Finally, we've got the purple fade, or I would want to say like the necromancer fade. So this top colour is necromancy, which is beautiful. Purples and greys speckled. So nice. And then we have Inflict Wounds, which is a favourite of yours. As in podcast viewers, not just you specifically, although it might also be a favourite of yours, and if it is, well, wasn't that creepy. Which is greys and blacks and like this but more. And then finally we have Blight, which is a great spell. I used it for the first time in D&D on Tuesday and I'm like, why haven't I used this before? I'll tell you why. It's not very Ellen, who is my Firbolg druid. It's not a very her spell, so I feel like maybe it's a bit weird that she cast it, but at the same time it was so satisfying. So much damage. But yes, Blight, which is once again like these but more greys, more grey, more purple, less black. So these should fade together beautifully. I really want someone to buy this and knit this, please, thank you. As either that or I'm going to keep it and knit myself another So Faded, but I don't need one. But all of those non-sparkle are all on my merino sock base. Other than that, that's it. That's all that's going in the shop, except for gift cards. Gift cards are now in the shop. So if you don't know what to ask whoever in your family for gifts, please let me start that again because I have forgotten how to English. If you have people asking you what you want as gifts and you don't know what to say or where to point them in the direction of, may I recommend the Corner of Craft gift cards. I'm trying a way of doing it. If it doesn't work, I'll refund you and that's fantastic. And we'll set up some other system. But I'm trying a way of doing it and I don't see why it won't work. So I use Shopify to host my website, and to do gift cards I would have to spend an extra $20 a month. And I didn't want to make that leap on the off chance that maybe somebody potentially would want to buy a gift card. So I'm doing it a slightly different way. And then if people love gift cards and I start selling them quite often, then I will obviously fork out the $20 a month. But on a trial basis, I thought I would try and do it this way. So once the e-voucher is purchased, I will manually make a voucher code for you and send that through to you. That does mean that you won't get the email absolutely immediately, depending on what time of day that you buy it, because time zones, but I will try to do it as quickly and efficiently as possible and then get that in the email to you, but please allow up to 24 hours for me to do that. But that is just the way that I'm trialing it. I don't see why it won't work. I've now probably discouraged a ton of people from buying gift cards, so thanks. Regarding life stuff, the only thing that I can think of that I have done is get married and go on a honeymoon, like a mini moon. We're going on a big honeymoon next year in April, and we will be going to Japan. So if you have any tips, that would be super helpful. In regards to a couple of things, I got some confirmations of where I'm going to be vending next year at shows. First off, I'm going to be vending at the Yorkshire Yarn Festival. They have their first one on Saturday. I'm not going to be there. I repeat, I'm not going to be there. Mainly because I can't get myself there. Also, I didn't want to be stressed in the run-up to the wedding more than I needed to be. But I'm going to be vending at the end of March. I believe it's like the 27th, 20 something of March. I believe it's the last weekend in March. So I'm going to be vending there. That is just outside of York. Very excited. I am also going to be at the Woolmonty next year as well. I was at their first show this year and I absolutely loved it. Great venue, wonderful organisers, excited to be back. And that is the 12th and 13th and 14th of June. 12th and 13th, because it's the same weekend as Download Festival. So if My Chemical Romance play at Download, I may have lost my helper. Because Mario already wants to go to Download, and if My Chemical Romance are playing, my sister also wants to go. I may have lost both my booth buddies. I need to find some more booth buddies. So yes. That's in Sheffield, great location. It's at the Fly DSA Arena. It's very accessible, it's very open and airy and light. So if you suffer from anxiety or claustrophobia issues or anything like that, it's not dark, it's not cramped, it's not crowded. It was fantastic. Also, it wasn't super, because it's a concert venue, so it's very good at absorbing sound. So it wasn't very loud. It basically wasn't overwhelming of the senses like some yarn shows can be, such as Yarndale or Edinburgh Yarn Festival or anything. I loved it. And then I'm also going to be, for the very first time, I haven't even gone as a customer, which might be a mistake. I'm going to be at Fibre East, which is in Bedfordshire, and that is the end of July. I'm really nervous. The only thing I know about it is it's a pretty big yarn show. That's it, that's all I know. That's not true, I know where it is and whatnot. I just need to try and find some people's vlogs about it so I can kind of assess how busy it is, or talk to past vendors so I can assess how busy it is. Because I've never done a super busy show before. And I don't really know how much stock to take or anything. So yeah, I'm going to be doing lots of beading for that. So that is where you can find me so far next year. I've applied to a few more places, so fingers crossed. I do need to remember not to bite off more than I can chew, and just to take a breath, but that's fine. I've also got to find time to knit at some point because I need to get through all of this. Reasons I'm slightly glad that Edinburgh Yarn Festival is not happening next year. I tend to do most of my yarn buying at shows, I have noticed. It's just what works for me. Everyone does things differently, but what works for me, I think, is buying predominantly at shows. That way I can kind of keep my spending under control a little bit. But because I don't knit that quickly, I need to get a bit of a wriggle on. But yes, I think that's everything I have to share. Yes, Vlogmas coming this weekend. It's happening. It's gonna be happening. I'm very excited, can you tell? I'd like to film a really cute little intro, but I don't have the skill, editing technique or creativity to be able to do that. So we'll see what happens. But anyway, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, it would mean so much to me if you were to hit the thumbs up button just below it. It just helps get my video out into the YouTube sphere a bit more. Sorry that I've been a bit of a rambling mess. This is what happens when I don't podcast for a while and very exciting things happen, like my name changes. I will get over it soon. I got my first piece of post today to my new name and I'm just like, how weird. How weird and how exciting. I have my driving test very soon, so I haven't been able to send off my passport or provisional license or anything because I wanted to get my driving test out of the way first and then sort that all out. So I really hope I pass my driving test because I've been learning for so bloody long now. I'm sick of it. But you'll see during Vlogmas when it is. It was the day that I ramble and I'm a nervous wreck. That's the day my driving test will be. Yes, I'm gonna go. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to follow me on social media, please feel free. Links can all be found in the description box below. I am most active on Instagram, so please feel free to go and follow me on Instagram. Also, I'm trying really hard to get to 10,000 followers on Instagram, which sounds really needy and pleady, but I just want the swipe up feature in Instagram stories. That's all I want. You need 10,000 followers. So I am about 800 away. So it would mean a lot if you can help me out. I hate asking for stuff. Also, please feel free to subscribe so you don't miss out on any videos. If you hit the notification bell that pops up after you hit subscribe, you'll be notified on any device that you have notifications switched on for when I post a video. So you won't miss any Vlogmas because you know that that is what's going to be taking over your life in December, as it should be. This beaming face of pale. Thank you so much for watching. Your company means the absolute world to me, and with all that being said, I will see you very soon in my next video. Bye.